The Alpha Academy story has been taking some interesting directions, so we'll see what's up there. We'll also check out the latest for Uncle Howdy, Liv Morgan, and more. Starting things off with the latest updates for Chad Gable and the Alpha Academy. This whole situation with the faction has been heating up ever since Chad Gable turned heel. The interesting dynamic going on here is that a heel Chad Gable is still leading a babyface Alpha Academy faction. They're still all together, but Chad Gable is really putting the intense pressure on all the members of the faction to improve drastically as soon as possible. While Maxine Dupree was getting ready for her match, Chad Gable mentioned to her how he didn't see a title in her hand, and he continued to scold the rest of the faction. Now, like we mentioned last week, it looks like Chad Gable's new vision for the Alpha Academy isn't going to work out and will likely end with him removing himself from the group. But a new potential direction for Chad Gable went viral this week, coming from WWE legend and Hall of Fame member Kurt Angle. While speaking on his show, Kurt Angle was asked if WWE ever considered pairing him up with Chad Gable, and he had this to say, quote, "They never actually considered that being a heel manager, at least for Chad. For some reason, they never decided to do another Team Angle or team me up with Alpha Academy. I think that would be a great idea. If I were going to do it, it has to be worth it to me." End quote. So Kurt Angle announcing that he would be open to the idea of being a heel manager for Chad Gable absolutely went viral amongst the fans. A lot of fans have already been making lots of comparisons between Chad Gable and Kurt Angle for a long time. So to now hear Angle say that he would be open to working with Gable and doing something together with him in WWE, that sure got a lot of fans excited. So if WWE takes notice of the fan faction to the Kurt Angle and Chad Gable pair-up idea, and they give Angle the call, it looks like he'll be on board. But for the time being, it looks like we'll continue to see Chad Gable disconnect more and more with the Alpha Academy over the next few weeks, until they finally fall out for good. The April 29th edition of Raw also featured some big continuation for Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio's apparent new storyline. Last week on Raw, Dominik and Liv came face-to-face backstage for a brief moment before the screen faded to black. That left fans buzzing for a whole week with speculation about where that angle could be headed to next. Most fans agreed that given Liv's obsession with taking everything from Rhea Ripley, it's very likely that Liv's plan could be to seduce Dominik away from Rhea to break Rhea's heart, which seems like a very reasonable guess. Well, the continuation for their storyline took place this week with a background moment that you could have missed if you weren't extremely close to your screen and paying close attention. While Kathy Kelly was interviewing Jey Uso backstage, Liv Morgan can be seen deep into the background of the camera shot walking out of a certain room. A few moments pass and Dominik Mysterio also comes out of the same room that Liv just exited moments before, confirming that Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio were in a private room together with no cameras and nobody else around. It looked like Liv Morgan was able to tell Dominik Mysterio what was on her mind over the last few days when they privately met in that room. It looks like they even had a nice plan to try and cover up their private meeting. They didn't walk out of the private room together, which would have been extremely dumb if they're trying to keep everything secretive. They instead left the room one at a time, a few moments apart from each other, which is a decent plan in theory for the characters to do, but unfortunately for them, a live camera was facing that direction to catch both of them coming out of the same backstage room. Obviously, no one has the slightest clue at the moment of what was said in that private meeting between Dominik and Liv Morgan. The only thing they want us to know for now is that they've spoken to each other in private. But it looks like we'll have to wait a little bit longer to see the context for that conversation. It's also possible that Liv and Dominik could continue their private meetings backstage in the weeks to come. And maybe it'll be a fellow Judgment Day member that'll finally catch on to Dominik constantly sneaking off with Liv Morgan. Sure, the cameras already spotted them together in that room, but in terms of the Judgment Day and other superstars, the coast was clear. No actual superstars saw them together during that moment of leaving the room. So maybe in the coming weeks, they will get busted seeing each other. And then maybe we could get some more context to what's being said and done there. Whatever they're doing is still a big mystery. Obviously, everyone's mind is leaning towards a romantic angle for Liv and Dominik. They don't want to be seen together by anyone. They're meeting each other in private. Everything is secretive. It has fans highly suspicious that this is a romantic direction. So maybe they'll lean into that a bit. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe they pull the rug from under everyone and take it in a completely different situation. But Dominik and Liv's story is something to keep your eyes peeled for. In terms of what's going on right now separately for Dominik and Liv, Dom is still not cleared with his elbow injury, but he's still remaining on WWE television and having his usual active role amongst the Judgment Day. And with Rey Mysterio and the LWO getting drafted to Raw, Rey and Dominik even had another brief interaction backstage that hints at the idea of them potentially crossing paths again in the future, since they're on the same brand now. And for Liv Morgan, she picked up a big pinfall win over Nia Jax and continues to try and get back into the title picture for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Now let's get into the latest Uncle Howdy related teasers. One of the latest messages to appear from the teasers is a line that read, "Remember who you are." It may be unrelated, but some fans have pointed out how similar that line sounds to the first message that Uncle Howdy ever said on WWE television back in 2022, which was, "Revel in what you are." The Night 2 WWE draft teasers also included more lines of messages that said, quote, "The door is open. Do you want to meet him? Drown in his glory." End quote. A lot of fans have speculated that Braun Strowman could be a part of Howdy's faction for a long time now. Well, Strowman just made his return to Raw during Night 2 of the draft. So if he's going to be a part of the plans, Strowman is in fact already back on television and in place. There's still no dates appearing yet on any of these teasers, but fans feel like maybe some more dates and information will be appearing on the teaser as time goes on. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.